And then you have the Colorado Springs shooting. It seems to be emboldening anti-gay trolls. Explain how.
Yeah, I mean, well, the thing is, we sort of knew this was happening for months, right? Is that you'd see these prominent activists on Twitter and predominantly Twitter who would identify an event. So, not just libs of TikTok, but this guy, James Lindsay, they would say, hey, there's going to be something at this library, that they're going to read books, a drag queen's going to come and read books. And then you would have the Proud Boys, and this happened in Nevada, for example, show up and start harassing the librarians, calling the entire library and staff groomers and attacking them for days, calling in bomb threats to hospitals. So that was happening for months. And so what you basically get is a social media ecosystem that was not just sort of percolating this narrative, this hatred and this vitriol, but then every so often sort of taking that kinetic energy and channeling it toward a new target, be it a children's hospital, a library, a gay club. And that's how you sort of got to this habit that was happening for months, where there was this muscle memory or reflex of knowing when and where to go. That's how Club Q or any event would sort of get on the radar of these extremists, is that they promoted when these events were happening and saying, here's another example of grooming, of targeting children. So that was how this got operationalized. And just last weekend, James Lindsay, one of the people that had helped identify targets, was put back on Twitter. So it started to at least stabilize for a while because the platform started to take some action. But that plateau is over now. We're in a moment, as you noted at the intro, where it's trending again. And I think that we should just recognize that, that upswing that maybe slowed down, we're in an environment now where it's going to get a lot worse.
Angela, I'm going to ask you an impossible thing to answer in 30 seconds, but then how do you fix it? How do you undo it?
Well, at this point, it's deprogramming. I think, that's the first part, but obviously there's no easy way to do that. I think the clearest answer is that media as a whole have to give context. The Republican Party is taking this stuff from the fringes, and they are actually operationalizing this hate, not just into policy, but into practice. And I think fundamentally there needs to be some real accountability and some truth-telling about just how far off the Republicans were. Marjorie Taylor Greene was out there saying that if her child went to a camp with a trans counselor, that her husband would beat that counselor to a pulp. This is what's happening in the Republican Party across the spectrum. There's no way to unwind it until we stop that pipeline.